Well, we finally received a conclusion to the Squid Game franchise. For now. It was emotional, heartbreaking, sometimes a little funny, but most of the time, yeah, kinda whack. The final season didn't go as smoothly as I and many others had probably hoped. It's a season filled with flaws and has a hard time figuring out exactly where to go with its characters and plot. But despite that, when and where the season shines, it really shines, with the emotional beats really hitting and some seriously tense moments with fight scenes we never thought we'd see in the game of Squids. But the flaws needs to be addressed as well, because come on.
I'd rather drink with my footstool than with you.
I will be going over some of those flaws, but also give an explanation as to why, despite the flaws, I still think the season works, when many other shows would completely fail. So make sure to smash that subscribe button, and obviously, spoilers ahead. First of all, the VIPs. Holy mother of God, the VIPs. When I heard they were gonna be appearing in the show, I thought nothing of it. They were horribly written and very cringe in the first season.
Got real 69, huh?
But now we got season 3. They've obviously listened to the criticism, they have a higher budget, and I think they're gonna be fine this time around. Actual horror. They are so one-dimensional, with no depth whatsoever, so cartoonishly evil that it's just so fake. Their sole purpose is to narrate what we already see. Someone dies, cut to a VIP saying, "Oh my god, he died." Someone looks at another with obvious murderous intent, cut to a VIP saying, "Wow, it looks like he's gonna kill that guy." We already know. And make some cringe ass, "I'm rich and evil" line. Their addition to the story was so unnecessary and painful that I couldn't even care whether or not they died. A good villain is one you can be intimidated by, and one whose comeuppance you can actively root for. With these guys, they were just annoying narrators with characters so unimportant that I just hated their existence in the story. They could live, they could die, didn't care. I just didn't want to see them. You have to write some seriously bad characters for me to feel that way.
This is a bigger twist than the resurrection of Jesus.
My response to every time they appeared on screen was like an instinctive kill yourself. It's baffling me how anyone thought that these guys needed to be in the story. Is it supposed to be a symbol for capitalism and rich people bad? If so, this is such a shit, forced way of doing it. The game itself is already doing a lot better job in getting that point across. I feel like only a child would feel it necessary to add in such laughably pathetic one-dimensional characters who are just there to say, "I'm rich and therefore have no empathy and humanity, and all I care about is drinking, having sex, and seeing lower class people brutally die. Yippee!" God damn. Anyway, while the VIPs were a bit of an atrocity, the characters inside the games we actually care about had a bit of a bumpy ride. On one hand, I'm very pleased with the story of most of the characters. Hyunju got to be an absolute unit until the end, with a death that, while a bit predictable, was very well executed and gave her character the send-off she needed. The mother and son duo could have ended many ways, but I didn't see this direction coming, honestly. It was probably the story's strongest point emotionally and didn't change anyone's character right at the end to fit more in line with whatever emotion the writers wanted you to feel. But that can't be said for the others, unfortunately. Daiho, Myungi, and Minsu all struggle with the case of, I need to suddenly become unlikable because of plot convenience. Daiho's was done the most realistically, I feel, with how his desperation to survive gets him to fight back against Gi-hun, both physically and mentally. However, it was obvious to me how this change happened, so it felt more fair for Gi-hun to kill him, so he wouldn't get eliminated. Had Daiho continued to beg for his life, we wouldn't have been happy seeing Gi-hun kill him, and that's where the issue is. The director clearly wants us to always root for Gi-hun, no matter what he does, and changing Daiho's character into suddenly being one who fights back and defends himself, when we've clearly been shown the opposite before, just so Gi-hun can kill Daiho properly, is a bit forced in my opinion. Myungi is the worst offender of this. He's obviously portrayed to be incredibly unsure and troubled in his decision making, which usually leads to him digging a deeper hole for himself. But he's always wanted to do the right thing, especially for his baby and ex-girlfriend, so when he suddenly says, "Okay, I kill baby now," it was such an obvious switch in character, just so we could dislike him, and so we would continue to root for Gi-hun. Why wouldn't he just believe in the promise Gi-hun said about sacrificing himself? I don't believe you, and I'm not gonna give you the chance to prove yourself, therefore, baby needs to go. We see the same thing happen before, when the others make this lunchbox, as they called it, but Gi-hun is like, no, that's unethical, when that could literally give a free pass to saving the baby and 5 others. The fuck happened to the whatever it takes to protect CGI baby thing? Instead he says, no, no more people should die unfairly, leading everyone to die unfairly instead, just so we could have an emotional climax. I felt that was the wrong way of doing it, and once again felt really forced and predictable. And finally, there's Minzu. He's a character I knew was gonna get some much needed character development. What I didn't expect was for that to happen through drugs. One pill, to be exact. And this one pill, for some reason, gives him the most insane withdrawals, where he starts seeing a lot of shit. And once again, it just felt out of place, and I really didn't feel like his character went anywhere. He shows courage when he kills Namgyu, which came out of fucking nowhere. He kills one person because of hallucinations, has a mental breakdown, and now he's an absolute alpha male who bows to no one. What? The rest of the time he's sweating and doing fuck all until he's knocked off, and I'm just left thinking, so his character arc was just going from cowardly to junky. Cool. Again, just felt unnatural. But let me know if you have different views on any of these characters. For me, just didn't land. Finally, there's the ending. This is the one everyone's talking about. How bad it is, and it gives absolutely no resolution to anything. But I don't think that was the point either. I agree, the detective plotline needed more, especially when he confronts his brother and says, why? Why? And the brother just doesn't do or say anything. But he still gives a glimpse into everything outside the games and how protected everything is and the sheer size this corporation is, which I really like seeing. And also, if it wasn't for him, player 246 wouldn't have been saved. But can we talk about this bullshit stormtrooper aim for a second in this scene? My man hits everything but the player. But when the other guard says, shoot the engine, bam, bullseye, no sweat. I couldn't help but laugh at how ridiculous this was. The plot armor was more insane than Gi-hun's, holy shit. But yeah, Gi-hun. So, he aura farms in the beginning of the season, and now he kills 333. Goofy ass cliche death, by the way. You telling me this man was able to hold up himself and another with one hand, and then pulls himself up when 333 falls. Yeah, crazy. They didn't press the button, y'all had one job, and Gi-hun sacrifices himself, letting the CGI baby get the award for most money earned for doing fuck all. Also, Gi-hun says, we are not horses. We are humans. Humans are...
You didn't finish!
This is where I disagree with the people saying the ending was bad. This was exactly what should have been expected. Throughout the show, Gi-hun has been fighting against the frontman's beliefs that humans are just greedy bastards. They are though, come on now, Gi-hun. I'd gladly sacrifice a newborn. He sticks to the beliefs that humans are so many different things and aren't just horses to be bet on, as each human offers different values in how they act and see the world. Some are selfish as hell, others are selfless as hell, and it's not fair to group them together. Player 333 is the proof the frontman needed that in the face of life-changing money, any human would do anything, even kill their child. But Gi-hun proves him wrong, and instead chooses to give up his own life, not because the child deserves some money, but because the child deserves to live. That is the message, and that's how Gi-hun achieves his goal as a spit in the face of the frontman's ideology. Did this work? Maybe on the frontman, but on the games themselves? Hell no. And that's kind of the point. You can't stop the greed of humans, no matter if they're on the top or at the bottom. But what Gi-hun says is more so a message to the audience, as well as to the frontman, who may or may not have been swayed by his words. I don't think so, but we don't know, cause the frontman does fuck all in this season. Also, how did killing those 5 dudes turn him into the heartless frontman? I feel like there are still some pieces of the puzzle missing. So yeah, the detective and the frontman needed a lot more. But I think we will see that in a future installment. Might not be a season 4, but come on, there's going to be more. You think Netflix will just let this one die out when they got an absolute money-making machine? Ain't no way. And when I saw this final scene, I just blurted out, is that fucking Cate Blanchett? If you don't know, she's the one that plays Hela in Thor Ragnarok, along with many other big Hollywood movies. So now we got Marvel characters in Squid Game. And when I saw her, I could just hear the church bells ring for this franchise. Spin-offs, movies, more seasons. It's all coming to get us. Yeah! American Squid Games, kill me now. But for what it was, the season still offered the entertainment I was hoping to see, along with some really emotional moments that worked very well. It needed some polishing and more time at the writer's desk to be anything special, but Gi-hun's words at the end and the more realistic ending to a very bizarre concept such as this satisfied me enough to call this season pretty good. Had they executed the VIPs from the script entirely, I would even go as far as to just straight up call it good. It's not bad, it really isn't, and I'm thankful for all the wacky shit we've seen because of Hwang Dong-hyuk's amazing idea for a show. Now imagine the child grows up to be Hitler. Not so heroic after all, eh, Gi-hun? Yeah, that's right, get back up here.